Hello and welcome to our second series of teaching videos. Our theme for this series is Look, Listen and Learn. This particular video contains information on the waltz, and in detail we will be showing you the following popular steps: overturn, spin, turn, turning lock, running weave, triple chasse, chasse roll, outside spin into pivots, double reverse spin, overspin, fall away whisk into pivots, open natural turn, chasse to the right, rumba cross, traveling contra check, and outside swivel into lilting pivots. Key words that you will hear us use during this video and in the other videos will be posture, position, centers, timing, swing, turn, and sway. Through our own experience in our training, using these 7 key words, key factors, is the best way to practice. To start to have a clear understanding of how to improve and what you are trying to achieve, and also to give you a good idea of how to self-analyze one's dancing. The first step that Lorraine and I would like to show you is the overturn, spin, turn, turning lock. Now, in this particular step, there are 2 priorities that you must be aware of. And one of them is to make sure that you keep your same position with each other. And also that you dance this step down the line of dance so that you don't have too much curve. Now, by now, we hope that you are well aware to make sure that you keep good posture. And as we just said, making sure that you keep good position. This step has a lot of rotation, so it is essential that you try and keep that position at all times. So be aware again of your centers. Please don't turn your centers into each other, away from each other. Don't turn your centers into each other. You've got to make sure that you keep the same distance from man's head to lady's head all the time. Okay? Now let's just show you, first of all, the step in full hold. And as I dance with Lorraine this time, we are thinking of good centers, timing, lots of rotation. Be aware of inside, outside of turn. What I mean by that is that on the first step here, I'm on the inside of turn. So I have to make space and give Lorraine a chance to be able to rotate around me. Notice that the head positions are away from each other. Very often, the man turns in towards the girl, anticipating the turn. Have to make space for the girl to be able to rotate around you. Now, this then changes where Lorraine becomes on the inside of turn and I'm on the outside. And again, changes again into promenade position. A good idea is to always keep rotating. So never stop your turn. Always think that you are rotating. You're trying to make sure that the step goes down line of dance. Sometimes we see people rise too early in this step. You've got 2 bars here, and the idea is that you've got the natural swinging action. But let me just show you the incorrect way that is frequently seen is that at this point here, this is too high. And now also the man puts his leg outside his body, so he wouldn't be in control of the action. And again, in the lock, people get too high here into promenade position. So in the lock, that must be gradual rise. Normal waltz swinging action. Also, we have shape as well, shape or sway. And at this point here, we've got rotation, but now I will shape towards the girl and keep that position there, keep that shape into the lock and change into promenade position. Good quality, visually seen in this step, would be to make sure that the heads come into PP at exactly the same time. So let's just show you that. Just into promenade position. So there's the end of the step. I'm swaying, I'm shaping towards the girl, and now heads finish into promenade position. Throughout our dancing, and also you should try for your own dancing, you're trying to have perfect timing with each other. Repetition of idea is very important. It's been very important in our careers. Good posture. Got to make sure you have good position on this step. Centers towards each other. Good timing. Make sure that you keep rotating inside, outside of turn. Make sure that you have sway to the right into the lock and then sway to the left into promenade position. Don't forget your swinging action, the natural swinging of the waltz. Don't rise too early. Let us show you that 2 more times. Running weave from promenade position. And let's first of all show you the most obvious mistake. And that is that the man tends to go across the lady's line or track as so. Try and dance this step on a straight line diag to center, but with turn. At the moment of turn, the lady will be on the inside of turn, allowing the man to go in front of her. So let's slowly show you that. So it's on a straight line towards diag to center. Rain is going to give me time now to be able to come across her. As so. Make sure that you don't rise too early on this step. Make sure that at this point here, too, that you've already not reached your peak point of rise. But this point here is 1, 2, begin to rise on 2, and 3. So 3 will be your highest point. Don't get too high too quickly at the point of 2. Again, make sure centers are towards each other. Very often, the man will not bring his center again towards the girl as so. Frequently danced also is the lady goes around the man's side. She must also keep her center directed towards the man. Also, to help you with this step, we'd like to show you about shape in the turn. And that is that you can see from promenade position we are shaping down. Now, as we continue on here, man is going to shape up, which will turn the lady's head. And again now, shaping down, which opens the lady's head. Let's do that this way. Shaping down. Now shaping up, which begins to close the lady's head. And again, man shapes down, opens the lady's head position. In full hold now. This point here, make sure that you've got your weight towards your partner, not leaning back. So, make sure that you don't go across the lady's alignment, looking for a straight line, centers towards each other, a good shaping. Making sure that your weight is towards partner at the end of the running weave. Triple chasse is frequently danced after a running weave. Now, priority for a triple chasse is to make sure that your feet, for man, close together. Now, during the years, people that didn't close their feet turned the triple chasse into what's called, in today's terms, a tumble turn. Triple chasse is a beautiful classic step, and when it's danced properly, it's got a great feeling, feet together with turn. Now, the lady has two options when she is going to dance her triple chasse. Firstly, she can dance it with a cross, or she can dance it with closed. Lorraine, please show us. So on the first one, it's going to be with a cross. And secondly, as man, feet together. Now, as we said before, frequently danced after a running weave. So at the end of the running weave, now at this point here, man, centered towards lady, is on the inside of turn. So he has to make big space to allow the lady to come around him. Then that changes, the lady becomes the inside of turn. We keep turning, and then we usually end this with a hinge or a throwaway oversway down the line of dance. Centers towards girl. Good timing. Be aware, inside, outside of rotation. Let's just time that. And 1, 2, and 3, 1. Now, if we add shape and sway into this step, end of the running weave, I'm shaping down. As we go into the triple chasse, now I'm shaping towards the girl. I'm swaying to the right, my left side is in the position of upwards. Then as we continue now, this changes. I'm now shaping down with my left side, up with my right side. Then we continue into, as I said before, a hinge or a throwaway oversway. Now let's dance that without stopping, being aware, inside, outside of rotation, man's turn, lady's turn, centers, a good timing. Dance this way. Let's try and dance that now, the running weave with the triple chasse. Please notice the shaping that the man is making, which in turn is either closing Lorraine's head or your partner's head, or opening. Two faults to try and avoid as much as possible is to make your turn too fast and also for you to have the incorrect footwork. So make sure that if you are dancing a tumble turn, you are dancing a tumble turn. And if it is to be a triple chasse, make sure for man that your feet close beautifully together. In Lorraine's case, her own preference is to close the feet together. But for lady, there is a dual option. Let us just show you the incorrect way of trying to be too fast in the turn and then center going away from partner. No quality. No quality. The two people must turn with each other, not just man on his own. And also, watch the feet this time. Incorrect. If the feet don't go together, then it becomes like a tumble turn. And we will be showing a tumble turn in the foxtrot. So let's go quickly now onto the chasse roll. We'll dance it first for you. The chasse roll into pivots. This particular step, just before you go into the pivots, you've got to make sure for man that you are shaping towards the girl, center towards the girl, into this position there. Now, as we begin to lower, the head position changes with each other. So as you can imagine, Lorraine's head being here, as we begin to lower, Lorraine's head now goes into this position here. So it's very important that you have good timing with each other, good awareness. For practice purposes, let the lady put her hand on the left side of his back, shaping towards the girl. You're going to keep rotating. The lady's on the inside of turn. She's going to allow the man to be able to get into this position as a collection point before you go into the pivots. Let's dance that for you one more time. Good timing, good centers. Keep position. Very important that the man and lady give each other enough time and enough space at the end of the chasse roll before they go into the pivots, because they are changing position with each other. Let me just do that one more time from the chasse. So as you can see, we're in this position now, but the man has to get right over here. So there's got an awful lot of rotation to make. And a common fault here would be not enough turn, and now the centers are going to spin away. When you are rotating, make sure looking to keep the same position, of course, and also make sure you keep the same distance from head to head. So you don't want the centers, the head positions to come in. You've got to make sure that they keep the distance away from each other, the same distance, that the heads stay on the perimeter of the circle. Last chance. Outside spin from promenade position into pivots. There's two areas here that we'd like you to be aware of when you're practicing. The first one being, from PP, is to be able to stop on perfect balance with each other in this position here. Centers towards each other, man's head to the left. Now we continue on here. And another position is to make sure that you're in correct placement with each other before you now continue on into the pivots. This is a good area to be able to collect the weights before you continue on into the pivots. So just before the outside spin and afterwards, just before the pivots, making sure that you have good weight with each other, that you are in the correct initial position with each other. One more time. So be able to stop there, perfect balance, center towards, man's head to the left. Now for practice purposes, let the lady put her hand on the man's left side of his back. Now, as we go into the outside spin, the center remains towards the girl, but the head stays to the left. And now we turn around each other. This step, vital, you have good timing with each other. Incorrect for the man would be to let his weight go too much into his left heel. For this position here, both man and lady on ball of foot, brings the left foot to his right foot, and now continues around the girl. Let's dance that at speed now. One more time. Again, lots of rotation happening in this step. Be aware of inside, outside of turn. Start from PP. The lady has to let the man be able to have time to be able to get in front of her. Now, this position here, the man is on the inside. The lady is rotating around the man. Now, this changes. The lady becomes on the inside and gives the man time and space to be able for him to rotate around her. Let us show you one of the most incorrect ways, one more time, to do the outside spin. And that would be for the man to let his weight pull back into his left foot, losing the timing, losing the center towards lady. One more time, Lorraine. Good posture, good timing, and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. One, 2, 3 and 1 and 2, 3, 1. So when you're practicing, ladies and gentlemen, 2 points, very important, just before the outside spin and just after before you go into the pivots. Make sure that you have good timing with each other and a good collection of the weights. We now go on to the double reverse spin, and let's show you 3 of those. Timing is 1, 2, 3, and at the point of and, try for a good vertical lowering. Please notice. One, two, three, and. 1, 2, 3, and. 1, 2, 3, and. For man, throughout the double reverse spin, try and make sure that you keep contact to the floor with a slight ronde with the left foot. Make sure that you close the feet before you're lowering. To do several of these continuously, it is quite difficult. So you must be aware of good centers, good timing, and again, of course, good posture and good position. The head weight for man and lady, you must keep away from the center point with each other. So it'd be very easy to spin away for the man. You've got to make sure it's centered towards lady, but the head weight keeps to the left, and also for the lady, her weight will keep to the left. One more time. Now, the next stage after the double reverse spin will be to introduce the overspin. On this particular step, let me just show you solo, is that a double reverse spin, but at the point of overspin, the weight now goes very quickly into the floor. So the idea, the feeling is that you're screwing into the floor. One more time. Notice that there isn't too much distance there, mainly on the spot. Now, Lorraine has to time that massive rotation with me. One more time. Now, so far, ladies and gentlemen, I have been speaking as a representative of Andrew and Lorraine in our dance partnership in many of the steps. In many of the steps, we've kept to the same formula of the key words: posture, position, senses, timing, swing, turn, and sway. But this is the first time or occasion that I feel as though it's very necessary that the lady should give her point of view. So, Lorraine, what do you feel as though the lady should be thinking of at this particular time?
Well, the lady on the double reverse spin should be thinking of turning on the right foot. And when she places the right foot into position, she must also take the head weight with the foot. The most common fault is for the lady to place the foot without the head weight. This is now blocking the man, which is no good for our turning action. So if I just show you that, so from the standing leg, I'm turning with my head to there. And if I do the double reverse spin with the overspin, the same idea, the head weight staying away to the left, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1. This is very important for the lady to do on the double reverse spin, overspin.
Thank you. Let's just show you that one more time, the double reverse spin, dance continuously, and then the double reverse spin, overspin, danced continuously. Now, the double reverse spin, overspin, 2 times. One more time. Difficult steps, but very good steps to practice as an exercise point of view in your dancing. Full away whisk from promenade position into pivots. Another step, vital that you have good timing, good centers with each other. Let us show you. It's one of those steps that we are continuously rotating with each other again, and also with terrific amount of shape. From promenade position, I'm swaying down at this point here, and then before I just go into the whisk action, I begin to sway up, which closes the lady's head. Man begins to turn, center now towards each other, into the left whisk. Notice at this point here, I turn and this opens the lady's body, head position. Center still towards the girl. Lady now on the inside of turn, she allows the man to be able to get around her before we again go into the pivots. Good collection point here. Just like the outside spin into pivots. Making sure they have good timing with each other at that point there before we continue on into the pivots. From this angle, slow motion now we will try. Notice the swinging action. Not a flat action. Terrific amount of awareness of speed with each other. Lorraine, is there anything in particular at this particular step that you're aware of that the lady should be thinking of?
Yes, very much so, especially when the lady is placing the fall away whisk. Once she has actually placed the fall away whisk, she must then time her center with the man to allow the man to turn around before commencing the pivots. And I'll just show you that with Andrew. So here I'm allowing Andrew to go across me. We're turning together. Now here I allow Andrew to turn around me, collection point, and now we can pivot together. The most common fault is that the lady on the fall away whisk commences her own turn too early. Then the centers will now come away from each other, and this is going to cause a lot of tension in the arms. So please be careful, ladies. Very important that you time the turning action before the pivot with the man.
We're trying to produce quality throughout our dancing, aren't we?
Yes.
Very important, centers, timing, big rotation, making sure lady's head to man's head, keeping the same distance. One more time. With timing, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, 3, 1. One more time, different angle. Slow motion this time. 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, 3. Good. Outside swivel, lilting pivot. Let's try and do this with one hand. When you're practicing this in the studio, try and get to this position there, with centers towards each other and with good timing. If you get to this position, okay, without any tension or push and pull in your dancing, then you've got a good chance of being able to complete this step. Continuing on into the lilting pivot, the man shapes to the left and the lady turns around the man's center. In this particular case, we're going to continue on with that rotation and end into a hover. Let's do that with two hands now. The outside swivel, for the man, you have to make sure that you are giving enough space for the lady to be able to get around you. Let me show you incorrectly. At this point here, if you go too straight, the lady has no chance of being able to get into a position to complete the lilting pivots. So it's very important, facing diag to center, finishing this position. This step, very important, the left foot back to allow the lady to get in front. The lilting pivot, for the man, put all the weight onto a heel flat, lady comes round. So at that point there, heel flat, turn, you can see the shape to the left, the lady comes round the man's center, and then into the hover. We'll dance that full out now. No push, no pull, no tension, it's not a struggle. The reason for that is because I made enough space for Lorraine to be able to dance around me. I kept my center towards her. I was also concentrating that I gave Lorraine enough time to be able to execute that step. But I need Lorraine to help me a lot on this particular step. And Lorraine, please explain what you're doing.
Well, I help Andrew in the beginning of the outside swivel. Again, as I spoke to you in the double reverse spin, as I commence my turning action on my right foot, again, my head weight will turn with that foot. So I am turning to allow the man to come through. Man is in position, and then I slip. So I have made the outside swivel very easy for the man to get into his position. If I take my foot straight back, I am now blocking the man from getting around the lady. So ladies, please remember to turn very much with the head weight on the right foot, turning and now letting the man come through into the outside swivel position. Now from there, the lady must then do the lilting pivot. And this seems to be a little bit of a difficult step for the lady. Once I'm in my position to commence the lilting pivot, I must not let my center stop. I must continue from the outside swivel, continue the center to turn around the man, and then continue maybe into a hover. The most common fault for lady, once she has placed the swivel, she tends to drop the center and place the foot for the lilting pivot. Now it takes a lot of arm pressure and pulling to get around the man. And this is what we do not want to see. So again, as you place the outside swivel, continue the center and go around the man and continue it maybe into a hover position to there.
Yeah, I feel that I never have to push Lorraine through that step as she's coming through the lilting pivot. I feel as though Lorraine is definitely self-sufficient at this moment in time. I feel as though she's driving her center through. I don't have to worry about her, she's doing it herself. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3. The last figure we'd like to show is the open natural turn, chasse to the right, rumba cross, traveling contre-check into promenade position. And basically all we want to show is how dynamically that we can dance with each other, i.e. that we are trying for maximum swing, looking for maximum rotation and also maximum sway. Don't forget though, it's impossible to do without the other 4 ingredients, the other 4 key factors working all together. Don't forget they're all interrelated. Let us just show you that. Notice that we're keeping a big distance from head to head, lots of volume in our dancing. Good postures all the time. The waltz is a rotary side action, and at our level we are trying to produce as much volume as possible. And through this particular step, which is very popular from the beginner to the seasoned professional, you can see that we are trying to make sure that we are dancing as dynamically as possible using the swing, turn and sway factor. One more time, Lorraine, please. Notice the shaping, the down, the up, shaping down again, shaping up, shaping down, shaping up. One more time. Shaping down, shaping up. Well, we've come to the end of this waltz video, but Lorraine's done a quick change, because before we go, we would like to dance all the steps, all the figures that we've shown you today to music. Don't forget the theme has been look, listen and learn. Before we go, one final thing, and that is the music has an impulse. It has a strong 1 and a soft 2 and 3. So as you watch us dancing now, please listen to the music and also watch for our impulse as we dance the figures. Thank you very much.